Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Dawn Approach podcast, coming to you live from, I'll switch the camera around. Look at that stunning view, the beautiful bridge where heroes of past years from the Willie Mullins clan have trodden after they've won massive races, you know, Galopin des Champs after the Gold Cup, Jasmine DeVoe, I Am Maximus, State Man.
We have walked this bridge many a time and then celebrated in the Lord Bagnall afterwards. So we are going to walk and talk about DRF in Leckland Bridge.
Exactly. So we will start with the opening race. Just say hello to Digi first as well, in his little raincoat, because the weather here hasn't been that great the past few weeks. The first race we will be covering is the 115 Grade 1 Novice Hurdle. I'm going to be quite quick with all of my selections this episode, just because this is the Dawn Approach, so it is, you know, look at that. Beautiful. Stunning, nearly as stunning as you.
This is what life is all about.
It is. I'm going to be quite quick with my selections because obviously this is the Dawn Approach, and I know that everybody that watches this are probably looking at Dawn's selections more than mine. There are some roadworks going on this bridge, and that's probably because, you know, so many champions have trodden a path that they need to relay the road before Willie has to do it all over again come March and April. Pretty much.
Then anybody who's saying that won't happen, I mean, you need to go check yourself. It's going to happen. That's why they're repaving the roads.
Exactly. They're already their preparation. It's preparation.
This is prep for Willie.
Exactly. Right. This is what happens when you record live. We're going to have to walk back across the bridge, the beautiful bridge, because that is far too loud, unfortunately. Anyway, let's get on with this. If you can hear us, hopefully you can. It will get a little bit quieter as we get away from the roadworks. At least we've got the sunset in the background. First race, my selection, I'm going to stick with the champion bumper winner from Cheltenham last year, Jasmine DeVoe. I think the horse is a little bit overpriced at 8-1. I know there's been a lot said about his jumping, and he's been beaten by a few of the rivals for Saturday already. But at the price, I'm going to give him another chance. What about you?
I'm going to say maybe an each way play tickle for Jasmine DeVoe. I couldn't have walked in Leckland Bridge and not said, well, the double green bumper dream couldn't have an each way chance, and with Willie you can't disregard them. I mean, 8-1, if he wins at that price, you're going, how could you let him go off at that price? But for me, it's Super Sunday, the son of Authorised, and yes, he is related to Jesse Harrington's Super Sunday as well, if you go back through the breeding.
Oh, he is?
He is, yeah.
He named the horse the same thing.
There's a little bit of wordplay going on with it, but I really liked him in the Lawlers. Patrick is taking the mount on him, but I always say with the Lawlers at Nace, you pluck from it in years to come when they go on chasing and everything. So for me, it's Super Sunday. I really like him. And Galileo Dame!
We're in the countryside!
And Galileo Dame with Joseph. You can't ignore Joseph. Galileo Dame actually was very good in an Oaks once upon a time.
Yep, ran in the Oaks,
20-1 each way play, but for me it's Super Sunday, son of Authorised, with the son of Willie on board.
The next race is the 150 Juvenile Hurdle. Dawn actually got a little bit confused there. Galileo Dame's in this. Yeah, we can blame that. Galileo Dame's in this.
I still think she's value at 20-1 in this race.
Okay, my selection is Willie de Hoy. A horse that was bought from France in the famous Rich Rishi colours. They've actually got, I think, the second favourite in this race as well. But Willie de Hoy was actually once Triumph Hurdle favourite and now is pretty much overlooked in this market, let alone for Cheltenham. And 33 to 1. Yeah, obviously the horse needs to step up. Willie Mullins has said that, yeah, was disappointed.
Disappointed in the press day, but I mean, I'd like to have a disappointment that finishes second than a disappointment that finishes out the back door.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, yeah, I'm at the prices, I'm going to have to take another chance that, similar to Jasmine DeVoe, another chance that the horse has got a little bit more ability than the market is suggesting. Dawn?
People are going to say that I'm a little bit lazy going with the favourite, and it's not Willie de Hoy, it's St. Lucy in here. Now, the last 2 years you've had fillies win this, so I mean, if you're going to go off that side of it, you had the likes of Gallimar Coo come out of this, Carcheese, etc., and we know how good they are. Yeah, St. Lucy for me, an 11-length win New Year's Eve. Gavin, now I will say, do not forget Gavin and Keaton to see and Connor Stone Walsh this weekend. He's got Hallow Neighbour in here, second favourite. I take another look, 3 wins on the bounce, and like I said before, Galileo Dame 20 to 1, massive each way pay. But St. Lucy in here for me. Reverse forecast, stick in Hallow Neighbour if you want value.
On to the 225, which is a handicap hurdle. This race, as expected, you know, you want these betting heats to be a little bit more competitive. I think they are. However, Meeting of the Waters gets in off a really, really low weight. Rachel Blackmore takes the ride. I think the horse is rated like something stupid, like £30 less than Chase form, Chase rating. So, yeah, 5 to 2 is obviously quite skinny. However, you've got to take it that the horse is pretty well in. Back me or sack me for me at 10s, 12 to 1. I'd like to take a chance on each way, but I think it's a race that I know a lot of people will try and get something big priced to make up for the potential of a lot of short price horses going in this weekend. But yeah, back me or sack me and Meeting of the Waters. I might even just do a reverse forecast. What about you?
Well, it's funny you're saying back me or sack me and Meeting of the Waters. I mean, they were both Paul Burns once upon a time. Now one slipped to JP. The other is still in Paul Burns. That's back me or sack me. Out of the two of them, it's been 3 years since a favourite won this race. So, fun fact about that. Out of the two of them, I'd probably go back me or sack me over them. But at each way value, I like Weave Kuehl. She was second in this last year. And Josh Williamson takes a valuable 7 off for Ted Walsh. She's very, very good, the daughter Harzan.
She's won at Leopardstown before?
She's won at Leopardstown at Christmas Festival last year, and then she came and she was second in this race last year to Maxim. So I really like her in here at value, but back me or sack me over Meeting of the Waters, even though you'll have many of the experts saying about ratings and weight and everything else. No, I don't think a favourite is going to win this.
Okay, there you go. The next race is the Irish Arkle, and we have Margeborough versus Il Atlantique. I think we've got Firefox in there as well. Have to give a little mention to. This sunset is absolutely stunning, so we're going to sit on this wall here and talk you through the rest of the races. Yeah, we saw Margeborough on Chase debut at Fairyhouse. Yeah. Pretty impressive. Everyone was very impressed afterwards. I thought that he was a bit sticky over the first couple of fences, but once he got going, yeah, he got better and better as the race went on, and yeah, he finished like a train, and didn't look like he'd even have a race afterwards. Before, he was a bit of a naughty boy, so that just shows you he's definitely got plenty of ability, because that would have been using some energy up. I really like Il Atlantique, I really do. I think if the softer the ground is, the more chance the horse has. I'm quite surprised that they've actually picked to go the 2 mile route with him. I think he's potentially more of a stayer in future, but yeah, it's not a race I'm going to stick money on. I'm going to enjoy it, sit back and look at these great horses. But if I was forced at the prices, Il Atlantique for me. You?
Margeborough for me all the way. I mean, for that to be a novice debut at Fairyhouse, he was spicy in the parade ring, but understandably so. I've been lucky enough, you were down there as well with me today in Capital, you got to see Martinborough. Martinborough's apologetic compared to his son, and to look at him, he doesn't even really look like Margeborough at all. but he's getting his winners, and I think Marshborough at Fairyhouse, you had to be impressed. We're never going to know what would have happened with him and Sergino in the Triumph. But now I have a thorn on my side with Il Antique, because it was always Il Antique, Firefox, Il Antique. So for me, I think Firefox's value in here, and I go back again what I said about the Lawlers. Obviously he wasn't in it this year, the year before, the horses that have come out of that and then gone on. I'm going to give Firefox another chance. 10 to 1 at each way. If Il Antique doesn't turn up, I'd still take him over Il Antique. I'm looking for value to enjoy. I'm going to just watch the race. But if I wanted to have €1 each way, that's going to pay for 2 pints.
That's true.
Firefoxy.
That is true. There you go. All right. The next race is the Irish Gold Cup. Obviously, we know which way Dawn's going to go. I don't think anyone's actually going to go. In fact, we're going to turn around here. We're looking at a car park when we really should just be looking at that stunning backdrop.
The Galloping the Champ of the
That is
skies.
absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's going to get dark, so we're probably going to look a bit weird in a little bit. We'll fire off this Galloping de Champ, really.
100%, and I mean, Willie said he was going to go back to the boards with Fact to File. I mean, Fact to File is very good in his own right. We've seen what he did at Cheltenham, we've seen what he did at Leopardstown last year. I like Monty Starr in here at each way value. He's 9 to 1. If Henry's are right, because I know there's been a couple of people saying, "Oh, are they quite right?" But I like Monty Starr. I thought he was fantastic New Year's Day at Tremor. I really did. Having not been seen for a while. I mean, you could argue a couple of them horses hadn't been seen. But if you want a bit more value, and I look for value, in saying that, there's only one horse I'm going to be looking at. And that's Mr. Legs 11, my Galloping de Champ. Get ready, get the tissues ready. Just sit back, enjoy this incredible boy before he goes and wins his
third Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Exactly, and if you did get that 4 to 1 after he got beaten over an inadequate trip, every single time we say it, just back him after that race after he gets beaten in it. The next race is the 405 Handicap Chase. Ryanair Handicap Chase?
Yeah, sponsored by Mr. Gigginstown.
Okay.
It's all up in the air.
For me, there's only one horse in here. Teddy Bear.
Teddy Bear.
Facile.
Shout out to Steph.
There we go. Facile mode. I think he's 10s now. He was 12s. I've seen him at Punchestown when he just didn't jump very well. He went off odds on that day. The time before, he fell and brought down one of your 5 to follows, Jordan's.
Yeah.
But before that, he was very impressive on Chase debut. He's still a novice. I think that 12 to 1 looks like a decent price, and if Mr. Leopardstown, the DRF is usually Danny Mullins' time to shine, and if he can get a tune out of him, I think we could see him, come home in front.
Yeah, I think they should nearly change the name to the Danny Mullins Racing Festival, because if we've seen it the last 2 years, I see your method with Teddy Bear. I am a fan of Teddy Bear. I just don't know whether he's up to this. He did win his bumper 2 years ago here under Charlie Mullins, Tom's son, and then people were saying, well, God, he is the real McCoy. If he jumps, he'll be there or thereabouts. But I like Gavin at the moment and Gavin at Cheltenham. I would just follow him off a cliff, and Connor Stonewall just taking 5 off. Midnight it is. He's 4 to 1 now. And 2 weeks ago when we had for the subs King of PRS, Gavin had the 1, 2, 3 there, and the 3 was Midnight it is. And I really think this horse is so well handicapped, and he's going to be right in there. 4 to 1, possibly a little bit tight, so I'm going to say for the win. And then for a bit of each way play, I always talk about Matney with the Golden Womb. We're not getting brighter days ahead, but her half brother Indiana Jones is in here. He was a good fort. Now he's got a bit of heavy weight to carry, but he's a bloody good horse, and he does pull it out of the bag. He's 20 to 1 fun here, but for me it's Midnight it is. Okay,
there you go. I think the final race of the day is the bumper. Yeah, so this bumper, they're pretty difficult. The 2 bumpers over the weekend, probably these horses improve at different rates at this young age. But I'm going to go with Willie Mullins in the bumper shock, and it's Sortudo. Now, Jodie, who we were lucky enough to meet last year, after she did win, she won the Mares bumper, did she?
She won the Mares on the Sunday.
She won the Mares on the Sunday, and we were lucky enough to have a drink with her in the members bar afterwards. And yeah, I think she can pull this one home in front. Sortudo for me, 8-1, I think.
8-1, I think. Unlucky the last day, but
Yeah.
Declan Queally at the moment, don't think he has anything in this bumper, but what I would say is watch his horses the weekend too. You're always going to get value, and the horse that beat Sortudo that day, his half sister won at Gowran the other day, so that form line is something to follow too. It's just, I'm throwing in a little bit of a fun fact there, but for me, it's in the Gigginstown colours. He can't dance, but he can certainly race, and he was very, very good in a point-to-point where a JP called Meet Me by the Sea was second, who has gone on and won, who we haven't seen since, but another horse to keep on side. But he can't dance. He was worth the wait. He came out of 2 of his races, stone bruised, coughing, and then we got to see him run, and he is exciting. Harry Swan is up. He's 3-1. They're all getting stuck into the double green, understandably so. Patrick is up, Patrick Willie in the bumper, but what else we've seen this season, it's not always Patrick and Willie in the bumper. So for me, he can't dance, but he certainly can race, and anybody who is there, wait until you see this horse. This horse is like a painting. He is gorgeous. Unicorn in the bumper.
The 12:40 on the Sunday is the first race of the second day of DRF, and I'm going to go for 2 in this handicap hurdle. It looks a really, really competitive renewal, but I'm picking 2 horses that we saw in the flesh at Turles, actually, on a very cold, windy, slightly wet day, but a really good day actually at Turles. And there is Cottesloe Sunshine, who won for Joseph O'Brien, JJ Slevin's first ride back
And
after
win.
injury.
Yeah,
first ride
and
and first win back after injury. And Jeannie Macaroni, who I mentioned in the Turles preview pod vlog, that I thought in the car before we went had a good chance.
Yeah.
And then, we went against her actually on the day when we were at the racecourse. But she won as well. So there was 2 winners from Turles that I think stand a good chance in this race. I'm going to have little each way bets on both of those. So that's my selection.
In my defence with Janie Macaroni, and I do love her, it's the Highland Reel factor, and anybody who has a Highland Reel knows how frustrating they are, and sometimes they don't want to win, but the day they turn up they do want to win.
Yeah.
So I was crying on the shortest day of the year at Turles because Janie Macaroni, as they say in Dublin, she was good that day, and she's 14-1 here. She's value. Now people are going to go with straight home because she's obvious and she's easy and everything else, but as we've seen last year, the double green got a 20-1 winner here, so we don't always go with what's easy and obvious. And what I'll just say is, as we're sitting down here in Leckland Bridge, this race is named after the great Maureen Mullins as well, so no better race when you're celebrating good mares like that. But Qualalimta, she's a bit of an
Qualamita.
she's a bit of an enigma in the Rob Core colours. I know Danny loves the Rob Cores, and he actually loved her a lot, and I think she's due her day. When I first saw her, when she was stuffed in her bumper at Navan, she was placed only by night. Now only by night we've seen how good she is, and I mean, I love her for Cheltenham. She's 10s for Cheltenham. I really, really like her for Cheltenham. So at 11-2, I'm not going to go with the obvious here. I'm going to go for value. And I'm very, very excited. I love to see the English horses coming over.
Harry Derham's got one in this.
Queen's Gamble, her form line is still so solid. It's still always anything that was second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth to her has gone on. So it'd be nice to see, an English winner go home, because he's brave enough to come over. He's not ducking and diving like some of the others.
I mean, they've had it tough as well at the Derham Yard with, well publicised that his gallops pretty much went underwater back in November. The horses had to all be pretty much in their boxes while they sorted that out. And I think he had his first winner a couple of days ago after all of that debacle. So, hopefully he gets himself back into form, because he was absolutely flying before that happened. And it would be good to see him and the English take a race home.
Oh, he deserves it. We seen last year you took home a race, so with Madara.
Yes, yeah, we did. Yeah, that was actually a good evening after. That was on the Saturday as well. Yeah.
Full circle.
Full circle. The next race is Grade 1 Novice Chase over 2 miles 5, I believe, and this is Ballyburn Upton trip after he got absolutely walked all over by the best horse in training, Sergino. I think he might get beat again here. One of my favourite horses, who, having quickly looked back at the form of Impere Pass, really hasn't done a lot wrong. I know people were saying that he needed to step up a little bit last year, which is true.
He's done it.
His first season out of novice company didn't really go to plan, but he did only get beat by Tiapo and Stateman twice. And yes, he was third at the Dublin Racing Festival last year, but that's when he actually went out and tried to beat Stateman instead of just picking up the pieces like Bob Ollinger did on that day. He's taken to fences well. He's won his 2 races pretty easily. His chasing debut was nice. And he beat Jordan's comfortably last time. Obviously this is a massive step up, but I think he will take it in his stride, and I'm hoping he'll do the business and he can really take this on and then go and win at Cheltenham. Obviously I do hope Champ Kylie does it for you, because I know you love the horse. But yeah, I'm a big Impy fan, and I'll be cheering him on come Sunday.
I mean, it's such a treat too. It was New Year's Day, and to see what a way on New Year's Day to just be able to sit and watch a comeback of a horse that was, it's nearly like you manifest it, saying over and Champ Kylie, but he is such a dude of a horse. The big story with him. I wrote articles on him. I adore the horse. He bought me a dress to go to Royal Ascot with when he won Lawler's Day. Again, I refer back to Lawler's Day. Pluck. 11 lengths after being off since April 2023. I mean, he's a good horse, good horse, and maybe in the future you're thinking a Gold Cup.
Well, he won so impressively on
and like Emily, she cries with me. That's
Emily,
her son. That's what she says. That's her 4-legged son, and to see that type of emotion and love for that horse. So at 9-2 here, will I have a sentimental one? I will.
I think he's 11-2 now.
Well, if he's 9-2, whether it was 100-1, I'd still, because he's just, what a gorgeous horse, and he's named after Kevin Shields' grandfather as well, Champ Kylie, and the whole story is just fantastic. But to me, I'm going to go against Impere Pass. We used to call him Impere Pass, pain in my ass. He's very good. He is very, very good. He was very good in what once was the Ballymore. And that Ballymore, you go back now and you see Impy came out of it, Gaelic Warrior, Champ Kylie, I think 4th, 5th, 6th. They're all really, really good horses. So, yeah, but I'm going to say Ballyburn here. I'm going to give him one more chance. Okay. And then it really does show what you are saying. And you keep saying that Sergino is the real McCoy with all the joy. But again, I say value, and for me, Champ Kylie, for sentiment and everything else. Am I going to really say, and I know this is probably a lot of people that are tuning in are going to want money, honey. I just want to enjoy really good horses, and for me, I'm just going to sit back again and enjoy.
Yeah.
Champ Kylie.
Yeah, I'm going to say if Sergino, is the horse I think he is, then it would be nice to see Ballyburn win the race, because then that just proves even more, it was over different trips. But I think he's going to be rated in the 190s at some point. I know people are going to crab me for that, but Sergino is the best horse ever bred, isn't he? Okay, the next race is the 140 Grade 1 Novice Hurdle. I'm just going to keep it simple. I think looking through the race, a lot of the horses have had their jumping issues. I'm sure when they go a little bit quicker they might improve, but Kopek de Borders, for me, he's 2nd or 3rd favourite for the Supreme now. Yes, he's not achieved much in his one run after a point-to-point win, but he's probably going to go off quite a short price, but I don't think there's a lot to beat him here.
He's 5-4 here. I mean, that is very, very tight, and his name is Kevin. And he's really good friends with Gary, a St. Gaelic Warrior. So Kopek's the boards. It's going to be the obvious again. we've all forgotten about Blue Devassi and what he has done. I mean, what was it, 32 lengths on his debut this season? I really like this horse, and he was second here in the Future Champions at Christmas. So why has that been forgotten? Yes, it was 9 lengths, but still, you shouldn't really forget that, because he can make that up. We're all getting stuck into Kevin. I can't get stuck into Kevin at 5-4.
No, not having seen him once. I don't think you can back him with a huge amount of confidence, but I just can't see a lot to beat him. So yeah.
I think Blue Devassi will come close. I really, really do.
And
he's 8-1.
Yeah, 8-1 each way.
That's
is
value.
Decent to at least fill the places.
And especially if it's not going to go, as we've seen the last 2 years, people have come out with their fingers burnt and their hearts broken.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have to look for a little bit of value again, because you know, it's been a tough January and we need new roofs.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Devassi might build your new roof.
I think I know these races are all grade 1s, but a lot of them have Cheltenham in mind, don't they, as well? So a lot of them, the horses are only having their second runs or third runs of the season, and there's going to be improvement to come off the back of these, even on the lookout to the festival.
You're not going to come out of this race without a gig, out of this weekend without 1 or 2 Gigginstown winners.
That's true, and I don't know if I've actually picked any, so that's a bit of a worry.
You're lost.
And the next race is the Dublin Steeple Chase, Grade 1. Gaelic Warrior, who I actually thought ran quite well last time. I know he got a lot of stick for getting beat. You know, he's a horse that absolutely smashed it at Cheltenham last year in the Arkle, and I know that everyone expects these horses to then just turn up again and win and win and win. But yeah, I think he was staying on a little bit. I don't know if 2 miles is going to be his trip going forward or not, but yeah, he's 4-6 here, which is, again, odds on, a tad short. What I will do is give Willie Mullins a massive shout out, because he's not shirking sticking these horses all in races together.
No.
And that's something that I know, being English, a lot of the English, UK, British trainers, if they've got more than one, apart from Paul Nicholls back in the day when Cowter and Denman used to run against each other, they don't tend to meet. And it's good that they're obviously owned by different people and they're taking their chance in these races. I know people are going on about how, you know, Henry and Gordon Elliott obviously haven't got as many horses in here as they may be having the past.
As people had hoped, but
yeah, but he's still got amazing horses running. So
yeah.
You know, a lot of the crabbing just, you know, it's people trying to break racing from within, isn't it? But yeah, Gaelic Warrior here, I think just wins. He doesn't need to improve on what he did last time, I don't think, to win this race.
What do you think about the left and right thing? Are you?
Well, yeah, I don't
think it's a lot of bollocks.
Well, he probably does go round the other way better, but he won at Cheltenham so easily, so I don't think it's a thing.
And he could be like me, he can't tell his left from his
there
right.
You go.
So, you know, and I stood when I watched him win at Cheltenham, and people were going on and on and on and on before the race. Nah, he's not going to be out. Oh, he's sweating. Or is that? If you don't have a little bit of excitement going into a race, or going into a fight, or going into a first date, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? So forgive him for that. I'm all over Gary.
Maybe he doesn't like Leopardstown. I don't know.
It's very buzzy. It's very noisy, and it gets the horses. It does. Now Willie does everything in his power to help them. They have earplugs in, but they can still feel it. A horse can hear your heartbeat. It can feel your heartbeat from 2 kilometers nearly away, they say sometimes. Okay. So if they're feeling that, and it's going to be very buzzy, it's going to be very noisy.
Yeah, it will be.
Half of the UK descend upon Dublin Racing Festival as well. So you have to remember, sometimes some of the races, these horses don't see as many people either. We see it at Royal Ascot too. They get a lot buzzier. Yep. So that's the thing. But my point is, anyway, I think Gary hacks up here after Kevin hacks up his mate, and I really like Calixius in here. We're all forgetting that he was second in the Tingle Creek to John Bonn, who is fantastic in all ways possible, and he won here in 2021. If I'm right in saying, and I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, like they usually do, I don't think he's run back at Leopardstown since 2021 when he won his Juvenile Hurdle. So at 16-1, if you want a bit of value, Calixius, Mad Eye Moody, I call him. Yeah, I like him at that. But it's Gary all the way for me in here. It's redemption after him landing on his face last year.
Yeah. The next race is the 2:45 Grade 3 Chase.
Yep.
And James de Burley comes in here as favourite. You're going to see this bloody shadow. It looks like I've got a beard. More of a beard than I already do.
Something.
Yeah. James de Burley, I absolutely love this horse, but I can never get a price. He's always like top weight or nearly top weight in these races. He's obviously just short of like grade 1 quality, and can't run in those races anymore. But I just don't want to back him at like 4-1, 5-1 for these handicaps.
And then everybody's disappointed. They go in and they go in and they go in, and then they're disappointed. Can nobody read a handicap and weights? You can't give away weight.
Exactly. It's impossible for him to do it. If he wins, unbelievable performance.
Yeah.
But I can't be backing him at that price. So I think I'm just going to have to throw a dart. I think Amy Deji, is that how you pronounce the horse's name? 5th in the Topham.
Unseated in the Thyestes on Thursday.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
there you go. So I think there's a bigger race in this horse. I think the horse has actually only won once over fences in like 8 or 9 tries. But at 33-1, you know, Willie Mullins' horse is going off 33-1. When they win, everyone's like, oh my God, we've let a Willie one win at a massive price. And I think this potentially could be one of those times if the horse runs, because this is Sunday, we haven't got decks. We're recording this on Thursday night, and it really is nearly night now, as the sun has gone down.
But we do it because we love the game.
We do. James de Burley, Amy Desagy, they're the two that I would probably put in my place pot if I was going to have a go. You?
I like Search for Glory in here again. I go back to the Gigginstown thing. I also go back to, he ran a very good race in the Fahey. So if you're liking a little bit of Impere Pass, obviously my 5 to follow Jordans doesn't turn out this weekend, sadly, boo. But that's a very good race, that Fahey. I mean, look, it's what it's delivered the last couple of years. So Search for Glory is value here. I'm really hoping he runs, and at 10-1 he's very good and back to normal.
Is that your Gigginstown winner for the weekend?
Oh no, I've given you 3 gigs
already. Covering your base, covering all bases,
covering
all your bases.
Covering me arse like I usually do. But yeah, and back to normal is right down the weights here, and he was 6th over Christmas in a chase. So I like him right now. He's right down the weights. Obviously, when a couple come out, he's going to go up a little bit, but I think he's got like 9.6 or something, which some people might say is right out of the handicap.
God, can the jockeys even do that?
You're just not going to have dinner for
months.
So Search for Glory here, I like his value at 10s, and back to normal as well. I think he's into the teens or the 20s.
Okay, lovely. Big race of the day, biggest race of the day. There's obviously some other big ones. Is the 320, and it's the Irish Champion Hurdle. It's Lossiemouth v Stateman. I'm glad Lossie didn't run against Constitution Hill at Cheltenham last week, just purely because we get to see her on Sunday.
Selfishly because we get to see her, but also I'd say selfishly in case, you know,
Connie
had to come down on his nostrils and Lossie would have
come on
away.
Wouldn't have happened. Although I do think she's going to be better at Cheltenham. If she does turn up in the Champion Hurdle,
this is the thing,
because she's going to be going up that hill at the end. I don't think she wants 2 miles. I think she needs a bit further. We shall see. I also think State Man might need a bit further now. He's not an old boy by any means, but the last couple of runs he has sort of lacked that sparkle. Now, you know, I'm not a horse trainer, and I trust Willie Mullins to have got him right. The Brighter Days Ahead run just before New Year was incredible. The tactics absolutely spot on. I don't know. And obviously he then got beat by Winter Fog. Was he trying to close Brighter Days Ahead down too soon and never getting there? I don't know the reason.
I think we should give credit to Winter Fog, though. I really do as well, because that's a horse that's improved, who has been going during the summer season as well. So, I mean, credit where's credit's due, and we could see again on Sunday, we could be in for a surprise.
Well, that would be a surprise.
I'm not saying if he wins, but I'm saying again if he ends up in front of Stateman. Now, we've Daddy Longlegs in here, okay? And we've seen Brighter Days Ahead and King of Kingsfield. I'm not saying Willie is doing the same tactics, but is that a pacemaker for Stateman to see what the story is?
Maybe. And does this race tell us exactly what's going to happen at Cheltenham. We don't know who Paul's going to be riding.
Who would you ride?
If I'm Paul, I ride State Man
On Sunday.
on Sunday.
And if you're Paul and Lossie and State Man go on to Tuesday against Con Hill, who would you ride?
If Paul rides State Man now,
yeah,
and Lossie wins, then I think State Man, he may run in the Champion Hurdle, but I actually think they should supplement him for the stayers.
Yeah.
And then Lossie will go in the Champion Hurdle. If State Man wins, then I think Lossie goes to the mares, and then Paul can ride them both, because then State Man then is a Champion Hurdler again.
And then a lot of people will say it's a waste if Brighter Days Ahead doesn't go in the Champion Hurdle, but Brighter Days Ahead might be following the hoof steps of Applejade, who was second the year before and then went and won with Brian Cooper, which was one of the most inspired and best races I have seen, and went on and won. Brighter Days Ahead, I know people are disappointed they're not going to get to see her.
Yeah,
she's not turning up. We'll talk about the ones who are.
I don't think that's a bad decision to keep her, to put her away. No. That would have been a hard race over Christmas.
I can honestly, and we were separated that day, and there was people behind me calling Paul every name under the sun.
No.
I have never, on the flat even, apart from Dubai, I have never seen a horse go off like that.
No,
I have
and
never.
Stay on as
Incredible.
Well.
It was incredible.
It was incredible. And yeah, I think it will give decisions to Mr. O'Leary. If Lossie does get beat by State Man, and then the decision is that they go to the mares, well, then Brighter Days Ahead mares will take a chance in the Champion Hurdle, because I think Lossie would beat Brighter Days Ahead.
Yeah, and then we're going to have
some seriously good mares hurdle if they both turn up in that.
We'll have very good mares, so we'll have a very good Champion Hurdle. We can be greedy and say we'd like
anyway,
both.
Back to this race. Lossie?
This race, for me, it's Lossie, and even if Danny gets up, Danny won on Lossie's debut. I remember at Fairyhouse when they won together, and Danny is more than capable. Don't forget, Danny lowered Lossie Mount's crown 2 years ago with Gallimarcou. So for me, and it breaks my heart, because in this car park I had my poses with State Man, and he's such a gentleman, and he's very apologetic and everything else. And I will apologise to him on Sunday if it happens, but for me, I am going with the lady. I'm going with the Irish-French unicorn Lossie.
I will make a stand just purely based on price, and I've seen 2-1 State Man. I didn't think we'd ever see State Man, unless he was against Constitution Hill, be 2-1 or bigger. I can't see him staying that price. I think it has to be closer to flip a coin, 50-50, even money to pair. But right now it's 4-7 and nearly 2-1, and that's a bit too big for me. We'll just give a quick shout out to Rachel, who looks after State Man.
Such memories last year.
Last year was incredible. We Digitips chucked the scarf to Rachel after he won this race, and it was draped around him for all the photos, and it was just amazing. Obviously the scarf was in the Donnelly colours, and it was draped around the man, State Man himself, and it was just incredible. It was just incredible to have that moment. That won't be forgotten for sure.
And I feel guilty for forsaking him this time. I just hope the real State Man turns up, and if he doesn't, perhaps something
perhaps something isn't quite right. Perhaps he has regressed a bit, but I wouldn't discount him going up in trip. He's a class horse. Imagine him turn up in the stayers.
And like you're saying, if you have 2-1 now, you've got value.
Potentially.
Stallion fees to pay.
We do. If you're still watching this now,
well done.
You're unbelievable. You are absolutely unbelievable.
But we are freezing.
I'm going to give a shout out to Terry, because I know he will be watching.
Yes, we love you,
Hi,
Terry. We need more Terrys.
We love you, Terry. The 350 listed handicap hurdle. We've got 2 races to go. This looks ultra competitive. I'm going to stick with horses that are in form, because there's a lot of them that aren't, which in Ireland usually means that they're going to come good at some point. James's Gate for me, the Martin Brassel trained James's Gate. I watched him win his second win of the season when I was at Ascot a few weeks ago. He stayed on really strongly that day, and he actually won at Punchestown earlier in the season on the 10th I think it was of December, because that's the day that we turned up a little bit late to Punchestown and missed him.
Yes.
And he won really
It's
easily that
always
day.
the ones we miss,
Yeah.
and then we regret it.
He won really easily that day.
Blame the Guinness.
I know Foggy was a big fan of him last year. I wasn't, because I just said he didn't stay 2 miles. He looked like he didn't stay 2 miles. This year, obviously, he may have grown up a little bit. I don't know. He's obviously strengthened up a little bit. He definitely stays the 2 miles now. He's 10 to 1. I think that's a fair price. I wouldn't be surprised with the owners if he's backed a little bit, because I know that they like a little punt. So yeah, James's Gate for me in this, but it's a very competitive race, and I wouldn't be going in too heavy on anything. You?
No, and there's some very good horses in here. You've got Tunevator in here too from the Fairyhouse Festival. I mean, everybody scratched their head, but that horse is a very good horse too. I like Stormbreaker in here for Brosnan Racing now. Solness, you've got Future Prospect, you've got Newsret, all Brosnan Racing. Neil Sands and his dad are so enthusiastic, lovely people, real good people of the sport, and I loved seeing Solness get his redemption at Christmas. But I do like Stormbreaker in here. He was actually a Digitip sub each way play, and ran into a very good second, was running on when everything went wrong for him in that race. Everything, even JJ got dragged by the iron in that race. So yeah, he was second to last. Say he's 14 to 1 here for Brosnan Racing. I like him at 14 to 1. Stormbreaker each way play.
Okay, brilliant. We move on to the last, which is the Mare's Bumper. But it's getting cold. The Mare's Bumper, my selection, well, I've got two. I think Future Prospect's probably going to go off short, really short. We saw the horse win at Fairyhouse.
Yeah, super.
Was really, really good. Is in the Magnia colours
this time. But shared with Brosnan Racing.
Oh, okay. So Brosnan do own some of the horse as well, because it ran in Brosnan colours last time, didn't it? Yeah. So Future Prospect for me, I think the horse could be smart. Also Blue Velvet, we saw win at Turles. Yeah, so that's 3 I've selected from that Turles card. I really liked her. I wanted to see her at Fairyhouse. Yeah. She was actually a non-runner that day against Future Prospect. So then we got to see her a few days later.
Well, they knew to avoid. That'll tell you, same trainer.
There you go.
To keep them separated.
They kept them, and Patrick obviously wanted to ride them both to win. So yeah, and I know that Blue Velvet is a big price in this, so that'll probably be an each way bet for me. And if Future Prospect's any bigger than 6 to 4 on the day, I'll probably have a bet on that too. Yeah. You?
I really like Churchfield Sunset in here. I think she's a forgotten horse.
Let's walk.
She's Emmett's, and she's 10 to 1. She won the listed race at Navan. The same listed race that Only by Night, again we're going with the Only by Night factor, had won the year before. Like I say, Ballyburn sisters. Speaking of sisters, you've got Cameletta Vega in here. Aurora Vega was really good the other day. Cameletta Vega. Aurora Vega was 4th in this last year. That's my point with that. I'm not going with her. But Future Prospect, I was blown away. I'd be a liar to say I wasn't blown away when she won at Fairyhouse just before Christmas. By order of St. George, so I can see why Coolmore kept a whisker in her too. And yeah, she's in the Magner colours this time. Bronson Racing and Magners are doing the same thing that Magners and Rich Ritchie did with Mystical Power. If people get confused,
that didn't work, did it?
Oh, so don't talk about the war. But I do like Churchfield Sunset in here at each way play. But for me, it's Future Prospect.
Okay, all right. We're gonna quickly head inside to the Lord Bagnall to do our naps next bests.
Big each way play.
And an each way play. We're gonna get out of this cold. As you can see, it's coming in here. I hope that it doesn't freeze up this weekend. But yeah, we'll see you all at the DRF, the Dublin Racing Festival. If you see us, I will have some Digitips pins to give to people. So yeah, you're welcome to come over and say hello and pick one of those.
Year,
yeah.
buy us the Guinness.
Yeah, you can buy us a pint as well. I need a few. I had a few last year, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. A few? 12.
Yeah, had quite a lot to drink last year.
Got stuck with me.
Oi. No, it's not the reason. Yes, so please like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff, all your support, and have some winners. Our support yeah, your support of us is greatly appreciated as we grow beyond the 1,100 subscribers now. We're doing pretty well, considering we haven't put up that much content recently as well. So thank you guys. The nap and next best is coming soon. Here we are back for our nap, next best, and an each way play for Dawn. My nap has to be imperi pass, because I don't want to tip something that's odds on. That's basically it. Could be lazy and tip something that odds on and gets beat. So yeah,
And then you look silly.
then I look even more silly than I probably do already. So imperi pass for me as my nap, and my next best will be, as Dawn's going to laugh now, facile mode
Teddy bear.
in the Handicap Chase on the Saturday. Yeah, so a 10-to-1 next best and a 3-to-1 nap from me. So fingers crossed, one of them can get it done. You?
For me, all of mine come, my nap, my next best, and my each way play, come on Saturday. First race, my nap, is Super Sunday. The son of authorised. I can't forget his performance in the Lawlers after being off so long. He's 9-2 here. Really, really like him. My next best is, he can't dance, but he can race. He's 3-1 here. That's my next best for Gigginstown in the final race on Saturday. And my each way play, she is a massive price, but I cannot ignore her second in this race last year. A previous mare we used to own, Country Queen, finished behind Gueve Kuel. Gueve Kuel means quiet wind, so she might quietly get up there at 20-1 fun. So Super Sunday nap, he can't dance next best, and Gueve Kuel at 20-1 fun each way play. Be lucky.
Bye guys, thanks.